Oh, I'd give anything if I could lose just 80 pounds.
Lose weight, easy, but I gain it all right back again.
I know I shouldn't snack, but everyone else is eating, so why shouldn't I?
My doctor tells me that if I don't lose 65 pounds, I'll be dead in a year.
Me get into my wedding dress? Are you kidding?
I bet I've tried 30 diets and nothing works.
There are over 250 million overweight people in the world today. 1 out of every 3 Americans is overweight, and almost every one of them has a secret wish that somehow something will lead to a magical way to lose those overweight pounds. But there are 350,000 of these overweight millions who are doing more than just wishing. These thousands are members of TOPS, T-O-P-S, Take Off Pound Sensibly. Of course, they have not all reached their ideal weight goals, but as TOPS members, they see living proof that it can be done, and they keep working away at it. This unusual organization has just celebrated its 25th birthday as the world's oldest non-profit weight control organization, with more than 13,000 chapters in 25 countries. In the last quarter century, TOPS members have lost 24 million pounds. Its international headquarters is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So here's TOPS at 25. 350,000 people. Thousands of them lighter, happier, healthier. All because a brisk little overweight housewife from Milwaukee had a dream. Well, not exactly a dream. Actually, she stepped on the scales one day and saw 208 3/4 pounds. More overweight than usual.
I was fat from the time I was born. My mother was a good cook, and she would see that I had everything to eat, and she liked to clean up after it so she could do her dishes. She would say, "Esther, you eat this," and Esther would. I would go on diets, but nothing ever happened.
Esther Mance got her best grades in her high school cooking class. She won blue ribbons for her desserts at the county fair and collected every recipe she could get her hands on. TOPS actually began on Milwaukee's South Side, January 21st, 1948, when Esther Mance and 3 overweight friends met in a kitchen, of all places, and decided finally, once and for all, to do something about their sizes. Pioneer group therapy, that's what it was. The women didn't even know that term, but their method seemed to work. When they met again 2 weeks later, they'd lost a total of 28 pounds. A couple of newspaper stories, an article in a newsletter, word of mouth. It wasn't long before Esther Mance was swamped with letters and phone calls. Lonely, discouraged fat people begging for help to start the same kind of group. What to call it? On the spur of the moment, one of the charter members suggested TOP, Take Off Pounds. A headline writer added an S, and now that S stands for Sensibly.
The name TOPS was very appropriate because it grew like Topsy after we had our first meeting with our first 4 members.
National magazines and network TV featured the growing organization. Even though she had 5 small children, Esther Mance scurried around the city, then the state, starting new chapters. Her club records and her bathroom scale carried in a shopping bag.
Well, it told me that every one of them really wanted to lose weight, but none of them had enough willpower to do it by themselves. They needed some encouragement. They needed some help. And it was a very simple matter of getting together and talking things over and encouraging one another.
In those early days, the TOPS clubs had some colorful names. Today, however, they are computer-coded in TOPS' spacious headquarters in Milwaukee. Here, the organization keeps meticulous records handled by a home office staff of 60. Modern equipment charts the ups and downs of every member. TOPS publications, handbooks, and manuals roll off its own printing presses. New field personnel come to headquarters for training and briefing. Traveling personnel visit groups in the field with information. And so, from a lean membership of 4 plump women, it has grown to a huge international organization.
The first night, I think we drew up about 4 rules that we were going to follow, but the only one I can remember was that we were going to keep in touch and that we were going to come back 2 weeks later.
Keeping in touch between regular meetings, encouraging self-discipline, forming friendships, developing competition, and encouraging members with recognition. This is still the basis for TOPS clubs wherever they meet. They have a cordial relationship with the medical profession, insisting that members have their personal physicians set individual weight goals and diets.
We had sort of coined a little phrase, get your diet from your doctor and get your do it from TOPS.
There's a regular weigh-in, plus games, buddies, secret pals, group discussion, occasionally a speaker on health and nutrition. The TOPS Board of Directors is a canny group of long-time members who understand human nature, because they all have a continuing fight against overweight, too.
They're all going to make up excuses. They're all going to have alibis for if they, if they've eaten a little more. Not only the women, the men, all of them, they'll all do it. And the teenagers will do it, too. So we just have to scrape off all the barnacles and get right down to their conscience, and let them know that we're only looking out for their best interests.
Through the years, the club has been besieged by requests for endorsements and the urge to go commercial, but they've stood steadfast to their non-profit status. The fees are still relatively low, only a few dollars a year. Many consumers think quality has to be high-priced, but Mrs. Mance has other ideas.
TOPS isn't something that people can buy, in taking off pounds sensibly. They still have to do the work themselves, and it's a program that they have to do themselves. We can call it a do-it-yourself program. It's an organization where these people get together and give each other all the encouragement and help that they can use.
Esther Mance's theory seems to work. For memberships and donations not only support the operation, but also support a remarkable obesity and metabolic research program. All through the years, the club has condemned quacks, faddists, and other unnatural crutches. Now, their proud achievement is the funding of an unusual research program involving top medical and behavioral scientists. In this unique program, TOPS has spent close to $1 million to coordinate several teams of medical investigators, each working on aspects of obesity and metabolism. They work in the Milwaukee area at Deaconess Hospital, Medical College of Wisconsin, Milwaukee County Medical Complex, and Wood Veterans Administration Center. They are headed by Dr. Ronald K. Kalkoff, a medical specialist in metabolic research.
What we are doing is basic and clinical research on what makes the adipose tissue or the fat cell tick. For instance, we know that the fat cell itself is an extremely active cell. It's one of the most active cells in the body, constantly turning over, building up, and breaking down, particularly in the overweight subject. We now know that the obese patient may turn over adipose tissue or total body fat tissue completely within weeks. So this constant buildup and breakdown is a very vital area for investigation.
Dr. Dean Calvert and Dr. John Lesh want to find out if there are certain differences that predispose individuals to obesity. As Dr. Calvert says,
this is the basic unit with which we work in our research laboratory. It's an isolated fat cell. It's huge, several thousand-fold the size of a red blood cell, filled with triglyceride, which is responsive to the hormones that we add in the test tube as we work with it.
Dr. Alfred Rim and Dr. Yoshiro Taira conducted an 8-page survey of 125,000 TOPS members with a usable response of 73,000. With these millions of biostatistics now computerized, they can ask hundreds of questions about eating habits, illnesses, family, finding many answers under the broad heading of epidemiology. With the help of lively little monkeys, Dr. Sanford Larson and Dr. Donald Rigel are investigating what the brain has to do with being fat. After 6 years, they've isolated a hormone-like material that seems to control appetite. Several lines of investigation of this factor are now in progress. As Dr. Rigel says,
well, I think that research is much like a voyage such as Columbus took. People asked the Queen to support the voyage, not really knowing where they were going. They sailed on a search for almost a dream, if you will, much to their surprise, and now to our surprise, really ended up in a position that, or a location that they had not anticipated they would. So in a certain sense, research is much like that. People lend their support financially, their work, their urgency, their minds to a voyage.
What happens to an overweight person's breathing? That's the study of Dr. Donald Schluter. What about that mysterious matter called metabolism? Many glands work overtime in the obese person, disturbing the delicate endocrine balance. These glandular matters are the study of Dr. Kalkoff and Dr. Hak Young Kim.
I've kind of figured that...
in the area of psychology, Dr. Ray McCall and his colleagues, Dr. M.Y. Qureshi, and Dr. Mary Ann Sideritz are investigating the psychological aspects of obesity. In questionnaires and group therapy, they have found some striking psychological differences between fat and normal.
That he somehow sees what I'm feeling,
Frame of mind that says this is a limited task, I can complete it in such and such a time, and then I won't have to worry about it.
Dr. McCall has this to say.
I think that the people in the TOPS organization appreciate that women who have a long-term, long-standing weight problem, for them there are no quick and easy solutions. If they are going to get their weight to the level they want and maintain it there, they have to change their lifestyle, and that means for life.
TOPS members themselves are vital to the research, for they are the willing volunteers in ongoing programs of long, intensive group therapy and other medical projects.
Most of us have ongoing research support from other sources, but what TOPS has very beautifully done is provide the funds to coordinate our efforts and bring them all together. And TOPS adds supplemental funds, extra monies where they are needed, to give us all a chance to gear our research direction by expanding our programs in this field of obesity research. If we find some answers in the control of weight and nutrition, we will practically reduce mortality rates and morbidity rates among Americans by a dramatic, substantial figure. That's why it's so very important to find out more about these problems. That's why we must delve deeply into these critical areas of overweight. We investigators have found that TOPS people as research subjects, as patients, and as members of the organization are among the most enthusiastic and cooperative people we've ever met. I think one of the reasons they're so remarkable is that they are a self-help group. And I, as a physician, now realize that when someone is trying to beat a condition like obesity, that a self-help group does better in terms of their overall performance than any physician can do with a single patient alone. There is something about group camaraderie that far supersedes the value of a single physician in this problem. In fact, many TOPS chapters outperform some of the finest obesity clinics in the country.
Each year, thousands of TOPS members gather for International Recognition Days. IRD is really something very special. It's a wonderful celebration. There are people of all ages from all walks of life. There's royalty, lots of it, and crowns everywhere. Hundreds of men and women who have lost 50, 100, even 200 pounds. There are awards and diplomas. Banners and speeches. There are flashbulbs and candles, sightseeing trips and seminars. The press covers the big annual event, and behind the scenes, professional photographers record the top TOPS. Sometimes it's just plain exhausting, but mostly it's fun, as members from all over the world gather to honor the best losers. Some of the losers are truly glamorous. They look as though a good godmother has indeed transformed them by magic. Some of the best losers are not quite so glamorous, but like these people, they've made a fantastic dent in the extra weight they've been carrying around. And they're well on their way to healthier, happier, handsomer lives. Some are amazed, thankful, grateful.
TOPS has meant to me a whole new life, friends. I've been able to do things I've never been able to do before. Just whole new me.
TOPS has meant happiness to me, and it's given me encouragement, motivation, and love for my fellow TOPS members.
My outlook has changed in that not only can I wear clothes, but I can walk without fear of another heart attack, which I had putting the weight back on, and regular attendance at the meetings is the main thing.
TOPS has meant the most to me is in helping me to want to lose more weight.
I think that TOPS means a big ugly scale and a lot of friendly girls. I think it's the motivation that I needed personally, and a group therapy type thing.
I joined in less than a year ago, and I have lost 91 pounds altogether.
I feel a lot better. I'm healthier. I can wear a type of clothes that I've always wanted to wear without, feeling awkward.
A lot of positive things have happened in my life since I joined TOPS. And by this I mean that when I look back and see how I was into a pattern of overeating and the guilt and depression that followed, I was really looking for an answer. And I found it at TOPS because I found people who cared. And now that I look back over my life since joining TOPS, I kind of feel that God directed me to join because he says with every temptation he will provide a way out. And for me, TOPS was that way out.
But all are thrilled by the great moments of recognition, a vital ingredient in the TOPS organization. Listen to the philosophy of Mrs. Esther Mance, founder and president of TOPS.
TOPS is take off pounds sensibly, and TOPS is kind of Alcoholics Anonymous program for overeaters. But it can't really be anonymous because there's nothing anonymous about being overweight. What you eat in private shows in public, so there's nothing anonymous about it. Anyway, TOPS helps people take off weight by encouragement. We have incentive programs, and we give them recognition to people who have been successful in overcoming their bad habits. We can brag about it a little bit, We don't want them to lose weight in order to win a trophy or a certificate. It's the other way around. We want to honor them because they've done it.
Now let's take a closer look at the TOPS IRD held in conjunction with the club's 25th anniversary in Milwaukee, the city where it was founded. And a more happy bunch of losers would be hard to find anywhere. They've come from all over the world. People who've lost hundreds of pounds. People selected for their dramatic progress. People chosen for their personality and charm. Women with growing families who can finally get back into their wedding gowns. Even teenagers who thought life was over when it was only just beginning. And then just a lot more tops who hope to find the spark, the inspiration, and enthusiasm to go forth and do likewise. There's royalty from every state and from every province of our northern neighbor, Canada. There are wonderful improvements in looks and happiness, and there are usually great improvements in health, too.
We've always given a lot of attention to the health of our members. We try to keep them healthy, happy, and alive. And we feel we can't help them unless they are alive, can we? We feel the livelier, the better.
Tradition is important at International Recognition Days, just as it is in all of TOPS activities.
People need kings and queens, and they need heroes. We have to have somebody to look up to, and it sort of motivates us that we feel if they could do it, maybe we can do it too.
The ceremonies, the awards, and of course the crowning of the International King and Queen and their runners-up. That applause sounds wonderful after all that hard work. Also honored are COPs, Keep Off Pounds Sensibly. These are TOPS members who have trimmed down to their weight goals. If they stay there 3 months, they graduate. And with diploma and candle in hand comes that proud moment. You've really arrived. There's a new you that you never dreamed of. You've used your willpower, your intelligence. You've lighted your candle. With every IRD, it's all very traditional, very familiar, but it's also ever new. New with each new participating TOPS and COPS member. On the occasion of TOPS Silver Anniversary, the members of TOPS departed from tradition just a bit. They honored a lively, down-to-earth, gray-haired grandmother as their beloved Queen Mother. As founder and president, Mrs. Esther Mance has guided this unusual organization through the last quarter century. With her energy and vision, she has watched over its growth. She has traveled millions of miles to preach her simple but effective story. She has developed TOPS' basic common sense philosophy. She seems never too busy to drop a line or provide moral support to a member wavering over a hot fudge sundae. And she has watched her own scale almost every day because she has continuously fought her own battle of the bulge. Most TOPS members insist that Esther Mance has a unique, intangible quality that infuses the whole huge TOPS organization. Perhaps But maybe it's because she herself has waged a lifetime struggle against overweight.
I have to be thinking about it morning, noon, and night, and just as soon as I eat something that I shouldn't have, well, it shows on the scales. That's our lie detector.
So she understands. And she has built an organization that understands.
Got that top enthusiasm up in my head. Up in my head. Up in my head. I got that top enthusiasm up in my head. Up in my head to stay.
Self-discipline, incentive, fresh hope if they've failed, recognition when they've done it, whether they've lost 2 pounds or 200, and the warm fellowship of people who care. That's the essence of TOPS. Mrs. Mance believes that these recognition days truly capture that spirit and also generate a surge of determination to go forth and get thinner.
There's so many people that never get to a recognition day, and everybody that comes the first time, or each time they come, they said, oh, if we could just have everybody see this, you know, and we could just bottle up these top spirits that we have here and all this enthusiasm. I think that since they can't come to these affairs, maybe we can give them something that we can take it to them.